clap.
All right. Back up. Do we want a backup recording at all?
I can do it right now.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Scio Township Multimodal Transit Committee meeting of August 20th, 2026. And with that, we'll do roll call. Kim, do you want to do roll call?
Sure.
Thank you.
Ryan Yeaple.
Present.
David Reed.
Here.
Jan Culberson.
Here.
Kim Moore, present. Christina Fullerton Rico.
Present.
Kathy. Present. Everybody's here except for Mr. Clark.
All right, thank you very much. All right.
Jessica.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you can't look at it. You just
No, you
have
can't
to look
look
at
at
Kathy and say it.
My maiden name is Bates.
Oh my gosh.
It was a big one for me.
Oh,
My maiden name is Bates.
That's great. All right, adoption of the agenda. Any revisions?
I'll move the agenda as
Moved by Reed,
moved or as supplied.
support
Support.
by Moore. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the agenda is adopted as posted. Correspondence received. We did get several emails. Any committee comments on any of those emails
I was just checking. I think there might be one that's not
in the packet?
in the packet because it was received last night at 11:16, and then I see one that came in at 8:38 this
Right.
morning.
Okay.
A couple there.
Plus two, okay.
I'll work with Christy to attach those as supplement documents.
Okay.
All right, then we'll go ahead and open public comment at 9:03. And if there's anyone that would like to, that is in the room that would like to address the committee?
Oh, last time we had like a roving microphone.
It's up here, I can get it.
Yeah, so here's where it's at.
You got it, Ryan? Okay.
Say, I figured it out again.
I guess our table disappeared.
Yeah.
We could set it here. This layout is admittedly, there should be another table
There
somewhere.
should be enough.
Yeah, we're missing some tables.
We're gonna have to investigate that, but you come on up. Yeah, come on up. You just come up here. That way you don't have to hold it. I don't have to stand
okay.
there. We just set it somewhere.
Okay,
You know.
I'll
that's
bring a chair
possible.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chair right
Chair.
Right there is fine, you don't have to
Okay.
bend over.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't.
there's a
Okay.
chair if you'd like. Sorry, nobody did.
Feels so official now.
Yeah, this-
It's like I jotted so many notes about this yesterday and I have no idea exactly what I'm gonna say, so I'm just gonna talk for,
We just have your name first.
oh, sorry, yes, absolutely, it's Melissa. I'm from Touchstone.
Touchstone.
I'm from, my last name is Linick, Linick. I'm from Touchstone Co-housing, and I'm here to support keeping the wave as it is right now and not discontinuing some of the services for it. And I rode over on the way, should I start talking now? Is it okay? I rode over on the wave bus this morning and we had Shayna, who was the driver, and she has been driving the wave for almost a year. She's very attached to the people who ride the wave. And I think the word that stuck out to me the most was the word lifeline. She said that this service is their lifeline. And it gets them to social activities, medical activities, groceries, and she said that she never really realized how important it was to these people. And it's just, even though she rode a school bus for many, many years, this is a whole different experience of driving a bus that keeps people vital in their lives so they can get to work or whatever. So I don't ride the wave and the buses all that much right now, but I feel like it's my responsibility to step forward for people who can't. And so that's why I'm in support today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Renee Klubeck, and I'm a Scio resident of 20 years. Previous to that, Dexter Township, 25 years, so I'm very familiar with Washtenaw County. And I'm very grateful you're all here today because I know how hard it is to be on a committee. I've served on a committee with compensation. I try to be involved in our community. So before I say anything, thank you to you all for your time that you give. It means a lot. Apologize, my computer failed this morning and I'm working off my notes from what I did in bed late last night. So I'm going to be referencing my phone screen if you don't mind. I wanted to say I attended the other meeting the other day, so some of you met me. I asked many questions, and it was a new subject matter to me. I've been very involved in a family matter for about 1.5 years, and I've gotten out of the loop, and I jumped back in, and this is where I jumped. And after the meeting, I've spoken to a lot of residents, and there's a great deal of confusion going on about what exactly is happening and why it's happening so quickly. So I thought I'd relay that information of the people I've spoken with since the meeting. I want to say there are many residents dependent on this kind of transportation service to live a normal life and access their community and greater Ann Arbor, the way most of us have the luxury for being able to take that for granted. If we continue to support that service for those people, it highlights that we are helping our neighbors, which is a powerful force in our Scio community, as I see it and many other people see it, of cementing the community together. The residents of Scio Township voted for this kind of service in the previous millages. And I think that indeed sends a huge message to not only the community, but should to the commissioners, county commissioners, and to the vendors that are involved in all this. It's as important as, and I hope this will come in a context we can all understand and appreciate, it's just as important as when I attended the meeting for land preservation the other evening and our community parks and pathways. And but if we aren't supporting and find a way to get our community people that don't have the luxuries we have to where they need to go, then we haven't done our job. With that said, the second amount of questions that I've been getting from people, I don't know why, they must have seen me speaking, but is they're very confused about the numbers and where the numbers are floating all over and why not this and how did this happen. And I understand that in the process, sometimes all these questions come to you and it's a lot to carry and I appreciate that. But I just thought I would let you know that there's many people that are confused and they're going to walk in Tuesday night to the board meeting and they're going to say, what's happening? Because they don't know and they don't understand. And what's really funny is I'm a detail person. I came the other night. I spoke with each of you, I think, most, and went home, did my homework. And last night had a couple people reach out to me and I said, I'm going to be fully honest. I'm going in. I'm taking more notes. I'm trying to understand the financial numbers. I understand the need. I understand the state situation that was explained to me, but there's still a lot of confusion. And it just seems like it came up really fast, having to have an answer fast. Now, I'm sure it didn't come up fast to this committee, but the community is seeing it that way. So thanks for being here. Thanks for giving us more information. And a heads up to anybody from the board that's here. There's a lot of people that will be coming Tuesday night, next Tuesday night, to say, what's going on? So I thought I would come again today and hopefully I'll get more information and can better understand. So thank you again. And thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone online that would like to address the committee?
Hi, everybody. If there's anyone online that'd like to speak, please raise your Zoom hand. Give you guys just a couple of moments. There's 5 online so far. All right, one more chance. Anybody like like to speak online, please raise your Zoom hand. Seeing none.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Moved by Moore,
Support.
support by Reed. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
And you're sure that the Zoom is working?
Yes, I
Like
have.
we're unmuted and everything? Okay.
Yep, I haven't heard anything from anybody to the contrary.
Okay, so we're closing public comment at 9:11.
Oh, I think I got a text message from
Oh.
somebody on Zoom. Oh, there's Lee, who spoke at the meeting, is looking for the Zoom link,
Oh,
so. I can send
All right,
it.
you can supply that. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Any board member, or not board member, the committee member response to any of the public comments?
Can I just say something? I don't know, I just want you to know that I thought that Lee wanted to make public comment, so,
When he comes on, if he wants to do that, we'll invite him to do that.
okay, because I spoke with him last
There's a
night.
second public comment.
Yeah, and there is one at the end
Oh.
of the meeting as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We'll make sure if he wants to speak, that he can speak, yeah.
Okay, thank
But
you.
we don't have to be like rigid.
I don't really know, so, yeah, thanks.
we try to be, we're,
Except
Generally
if there are
pretty
like
responsive.
100 people that want to talk, then
Then
it's a little more.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Or double talks.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then I'll just go ahead. Approval of minutes. We have our minutes from the 8/17 meeting.
So I'd just like to say something before,
Oh, sure.
and I probably should have said this when the motion to adopt the agenda. Number F says board member responses. We don't do that on the committee,
Okay.
and we're not the board. And I think the problem with adopting the BOT agenda frame
I'm well aware.
always gets, something looks weird. So I don't wanna pass over
highlighted
that,
this
but-
as a opportunity for one of our staff members internally to create better community
better
templates.
Templates.
why don't you use the PC template? That's probably more closely aligned. You just change the names. Anyway, forget it.
It's in the list of tasks that are to be worked upon, and I am not
Okay.
exactly sure where it's on the list, but it has been something that I've brought up, and I hope over the next several weeks we can address it as
Okay.
time permits. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I just wanted to
That's
address it because I
okay.
think it's confusing for people that don't know, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
So moving on to the approval of minutes. Are there any revisions and additions?
I'll just explain. I made this
Uh-huh.
very simplistic this time simply because there was so much back and forth during that meeting. And in addition to some of the technology challenges at the start of the meeting. So I did make it very simplistic. We are not required by statute to include details about individual public comment. We just have to have the motions, attendance, and the date. So if anyone's wondering why I didn't have longer form minutes, I was taking them on my phone and I'm like, I don't have everybody's comments. It was hard to capture with the amount of
Sure.
involved conversation at that meeting.
Well, I took notes and I'm pretty clear on what people said, but I do have one amendment.
Okay,
So this was not an MTC meeting.
okay,
This was an MTC public outreach meeting.
okay,
And I think that's what it should be named.
okay. I can change that on the.
MTC public outreach meeting minutes, or something like that.
Okay.
I can change that as the header.
Any other revisions or additions?
I think that should reflect, so one, it does say how many public comments we got. And I understand not being able to summarize every public comment, but every single comment we got was in support of keeping wave service.
Okay.
And I think that's important to reflect in the minutes.
I can add that at the And right above the motion to adjourn that,
Or maybe
every comment
after
received,
public comment.
every public comment received was
Supported,
in support of keeping wave service.
I would say
Keeping wave service
current.
as is.
Yeah,
or
current
keeping
wave
the current
services, yeah.
Certainly.
No, I think it was about keeping the Jackson Road connector, sorry, the JRC. That's what all those comments were about. Keeping the Jackson Road, the JRC,
Is that-
as it is.
Is that the bus that goes into?
Parkland Plaza.
Correct.
Yeah.
There
Or
were
goes in- or
also,
touches Willow Tree.
but
Yeah,
there
but-
were also comments about Scio Farms and
That's
keeping.
the JRC.
I was here and I did a public comment. I think I'd just like to say it wasn't just about the issue. I think there was multiple issues. Just
Well,
as the person is here,
So, well, then we should say multiple issues.
or multiple support something.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that folks were, if I had to summarize, in favor of keeping the whole system as is.
Yes, that's what
Yes.
that's what I think it should say.
Well, we started with keeping wave, so what are we landing on?
I mean, we were only talking about.
That's the problem with us talking and then they're not, the comments not being here, but I think as a whole, people were wanting to keep service as is.
Yeah, yeah.
Current service levels.
Are we still on board with committee response to public
We're
comment?
on the minutes.
We're on the adoption of the minutes, yeah. Okay, any other additions or revisions to the
Just
minutes?
to clarify while I'm
Yeah.
typing it, every public comment received was in support of keeping current wave service as is.
I would
So
say keeping
Transit service.
transit services as is.
keeping transit
Yeah.
services as it's not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for reading that.
Uh-huh.
All right, is there support for approving the minutes as amended?
Move to approve the minutes as amended.
More support, I read. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved as amended. All right, moving on to new business. David, did you want to respond to a comment?
It
before?
just occurred to me as Renee was speaking. The reason why there's so much confusion is because our meetings are open to the public. And when we talk about changing this, eliminating that, increasing the price, or doing this, people hear pieces of that. They don't hear the entire conversation over the 8 or 10 months that we've been meeting. So they come to one meeting, they hear, they're cutting the service. And if they come to the next meeting, they hear, oh, they're going to support the
considering
service. And, you know, so that's why there's so much confusion. Because we're having public meetings, which we, of course, have to do.
It's mandated, correct.
So that's all.
No, I understood.
And I'm fine with public meetings, I just
Oh,
wish
yeah.
that people would be more, I get the response, because if I relied on public transportation, I would have the same response.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't do well for everybody if we just react to everything, and that's what's happening. And so it is what it is. I mean, I think people have a right to have their reactions to stuff, but it's hard for us because
Yeah.
what David just said, people are not
All right,
getting it.
I want to move on to our new business and about our recommendation to the Board of Trustees regarding the Parkland Plaza service changes. And I'm sorry, I've been, out of the meetings for a little bit, and one of the things I had a hard time, I see, the work on, some of these changes. Can someone summarize why, because when I left, part of the recommendation was to renew the contract starting October 1st, give us time to, find some funds, really look at things more closely, et cetera. So I'm curious about the why we're looking at these changes to be implemented so soon. And
The wave changes.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, if someone, that would be helpful to kind of catch me up.
So I'm not so sure about how that happened. I will say that for my part, when it became clear that there was a real public outcry about the Route 30, it was going to be difficult to change that Route 30 or cut Route 30. So I spoke privately with Marie Grass about looking into how she could come up with changes in services. And that was just a comment between her. I don't know if Ryan spoke with Marie about that, but that was.
And she did, except she can't do it.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, but that's what, I mean, I don't know, like I say.
So it's more of a cost reduction? There wasn't something that MDOT said, there's no way you're going to be able to keep those services?
Correct.
Okay, all right. I just
Well,
wanted to kind of get
everything we've
grounded
been
there.
dealing with to date is about cost reduction. When we thought about the possibility of getting rid of Route 30, it was all about cutting our deficit. When we thought about, we've looked at several revisions of WAVE, because they are far more flexible than AATA about changing services. So that this latest incantation is about reducing the cost for the Scio Township. And that's why I gave all the members, I sat down yesterday to prepare for today. I looked at our charge again, and that's why you see the two top ones are the ones that I've given you about the costs and the savings and the cuts, possible cuts. The first one is the first one we talked about, which was getting rid of Route 30 and what the savings would be. Obviously, that'd be a $565,000 savings. And then the second one is the latest proposal by WAVE, which would change JARC. It would, Jackson Road Connector would only go as far as Meyer. And there's some changes, I believe, with the CC Community Connector and the savings there. But what would be the cost of the remaining cost of the contract? And then the third is what I thought I talked about with Ryan yesterday. We've sent Marie many times back to rework and relook at how we can deal with the deficit. And never have we looked at the numbers per se. I mean, we looked at the numbers that she's provided to us and AAT has provided to us, but we haven't looked at the numbers and say, what can we get rid of? And so the third option is getting rid of WAVE's door-to-door service and the community connector. And the reason I looked at the community connector as it is today, only picks up people like a few blocks west of Zeeb is in Scio Township. The rest of it is Dexter, along Dexter and Arbor Road. And then it comes down Zeeb, and it goes to Meyer, and it turns around. So we're spending about 100 and, sorry.
That shows 143,700.
Yeah, I wanted to say what that figure was, and I did not bring that. In a second, I can tell you what it is.
Yeah, because that's a door-to-door and community.
Yes, right, that's right.
But that's also a link with Chelsea Hospital. And
It's a link, and there's a proportionate share that Chelsea pays, that Dexter pays, and that we pay. But if you look at the service and how many people we're picking up on the community connector, I think it's important to.
Shield Road is also a stop in Scio Township.
So if you look at the numbers, I'm just looking at the numbers that Marie gave us on July 7th that we've been working with that are tied to this, her latest. And the door-to-door is about $61,700, which is reduced by the senior millage than what MDOT puts in the federal government. Our cost is $61,700. And the community connector is $82,000. That's where I'm coming up with the $143,700. So
How's that
for
affect-
80,
How
I'm
does that
sorry,
affect Parkland Plaza?
sorry.
How does the elimination of door-to-door and community connector affect the service that is given in Parkland Plaza? Does that affect that at all? Is that?
Well, with this latest wave, service changes, door-to-door would not be going in there anyway.
Mhm.
And the community connector doesn't go into Parkland Plaza, it comes down Z. So that would leave the Jackson Road connector the way it is originally, not with the new changes. It would go down to Parkland. This was my idea about trying to continue to do that Parkland Plaza and all of Jackson Road, the Jackson Road connector covers. But you get rid of the door-to-door service and the community connector. Now, there are political issues related to that. All three communities, Chelsea, Dexter, and Scio have bought into that system. But in terms of efficiency and carrying the most amount of people, I question whether or not that's warranted for $82,000. We know a lot of people ride along the Jackson Road. We know that, so that was my thinking in putting in there. This is just something for the committee to consider. The door-to-door is a little trickier. So anyway, that's.
Jan, one of the things that drove us, Marie had an idea. If we stopped the 31 at Wagner instead of coming into
The 30.
Scio. I'm sorry?
The 30.
The 30, yeah, sorry. Marie came up with a plan where they would have two wave buses going back and forth along Jackson.
Right, the transfer point would be at Wagner.
We can't do that.
We can't do that because of that's expanding the service.
Federal regulations?
Yeah.
Because of the
It's expanding
urbanized
the
area.
urban- Yeah, right. Yeah, so I just wanted to get an idea if there were, because we had pretty much, in my mind, when the discussion talked about cutting Route 30, which we couldn't do, that it was, we need, the recommendation is, we've looked at a bunch of things, but we haven't fully explored where we can get additional funding from. And there was talk about, the millage and et cetera, et cetera. So I sort of see the public transit as more of an essential service. And yes, we messed up because there were, an escalation in costs and so forth.
But that's not, the dialogue did not stop where you left off.
Yeah, I understand
getting
that,
that,
but it seemed like we came to, that recommendation that went to the trustees around finding additional funds and so forth. And,
Well, the recommendation didn't go to the trustees yet about you mean the extended POSA? Did that get, okay, and that got approved? Okay.
Yep. So anyway, I guess that's where I am is I think it's good to show the trustees what we've looked at and that
I agree.
Because part of that was we are in a deficit, but the impact on the most vulnerable Scio residents is huge, whether we cut wave services or cut Route 30.
Right.
And I don't see one or the other as being, wanting to choose. And I think, so anyway, I'm still sitting back there and saying, well, we can definitely share what we've come up with, but man, we've got to look at how we provide these essential services to our residents.
One question. Ryan, we talked about this the other night. Didn't the board approve extending their current services from 27 to 26 November or October of 26 through November of 27, something like that? Didn't we already approve that?
We approved asking for the POSA. We didn't approve, I guess, let me pull up the minutes while I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Give me just a moment. But my understanding of what the board did is the board approved, or the board accepted the recommendation, but didn't definitively decide on service. Or at that point, we did not receive the POSA because Ann Arbor.
And do you know off the
Authority.
top of your head what our taxable value is right now for the December.
1.9-ish
1.9-ish.
billion.
So that will generate almost 700,000 this year. So the deficit's not quite as bad as we thought. It's bad, but it's not bad as we thought.
Well, we don't have those updated numbers. Okay,
Sorry?
good, that's good to know. I said, we don't have those updated numbers, so that's good to know.
$697,300 on 1.9 million is what we will generate.
Oh, 600, not 700.
$697,300.
So almost 700,000.
97, okay.
693.
697,300 if it's
And-
1.9 million.
Okay, and the cost is
Well, it's according to Kim, it's 877. So
877.
we're 100 and,
So and that was what, in June, what was provided to us. When we got a copy of the POSA, and it had a chart, and it showed what the costs were, a breakdown of the costs by each item with the ATA, and then a breakdown of the cost of each item, our costs with WAVE, and that's where the total came to 877.
Yeah.
70.
So even if we got a portion of the county funds back, it could cover that.
Yes, and I can tell you one thing that should happen, it hasn't already in the last week or so. I provided internally the township's finance folks meeting minutes from last August of the DDA. The DDA at one of its last meetings agreed to contribute $40,000 before the money was split to the township, the county, WISD.
I gotcha.
So that helps. It doesn't solve all our problems, but it helps. So
And we haven't received those 40,000 yet.
that $40,000 journal entry, that move the money should be done, or it should be being done like today or tomorrow. So the board meeting minutes, the Board of Trustees, on May the 12th, motion by Brandt, support by Gable to accept the recommendations from the Multimodal Transportation Committee as amended. 1, that the Board of Trustees approves an agenda item at the Board of Trustees meeting on May 12th or May 26th to inform AAATA/WAVE of the board's intent or the board's interest of extending the purchase of service agreement for AAATA WAVE fiscal year of 10/1/26 to 9/30/27 to give additional time for AAATA to review cost of service to Scio Township. This will enable the MTC to develop a transit plan to meet the needs of Scio Township. There's 2 more, but I don't know. I'll read the next 2. 2, that the Board of Trustees continues its support of public transit in Scio Township and reviews long-term funding opportunities, including but not limited to county funding, grants, fund balance, PUD public benefits, and other legally permissible funding sources. And 3, that the Board of Trustees consider an increase of the transportation millage. That motion passed 7-0.
Oh, okay. So they've already taken into consideration a possible millage increase. So it kind of makes our recommendation moot. I mean, this current draft moot. Can I get a copy of that?
And had we looked into the future, had we had the committee, the transit committee 2.5 years ago had the appropriate information and increased the millage to 0.5, we would be generating almost $1 million a year. So it just wouldn't be going away. So, but and of course every year our taxable value goes up. So we get slightly more each year. But of course,
Transportation costs go up. Yeah.
I will say this year specifically, we're receiving the biggest benefit from Woodview Commons. They are now fully taxed. Because last year, the preceding December 31st of 2024, they were still under partial construction, so they're partially taxed. This year, because they were fully complete as of December 31st, 25, we're receiving extra revenue from that. We're receiving partial revenue this year from, I'd have to look at the percentage, from Heritage Woods, which is on Baker Road.
really already.
Partial, I think it's a low percentage. But in this coming year, not this December, but next December's tax bill, Heritage Woods will probably be at a higher percentage completion, somewhere It just depends on where they can get before winter
Yeah.
really sets in.
I noticed that they're projecting the Willow and whatever to
Like
open in the
winter.
spring of
Yeah.
2027, next spring,
Uh-huh.
like March or April. I mean, even if it's May, if it's open, it's, yeah.
We've also, in general, received additional revenue from Trailwoods nearing its final completion and closeout. There's relatively few home sites left now. So many of those home sites last year, right, they're partial construction or dirt. Dirt does not pay much tax, especially residential dirt.
How about Silent Hill?
Scio View would be the same situation. It's also much further along. In addition to that, Lithia, having their 2 new car dealerships complete, has also added to our revenue considerably.
So all of this points to the township being in a more
Better.
favorable economic situation. I also, I think this would be a change that would go into effect so quickly, right? So if the board said, okay, let's reduce the wave contract, eliminate these routes on September 25th, and that would go into effect October 1st, and it's something that, because of MDOT rules, could not be
August
changed
25th.
in the future. August 25th, sorry. August 25th, October 1st. I think it's too hasty. It's too hasty. I don't think it saves that much money, and there are some services that WAVE provides that put Scio Township in a much more favorable position. So like when we talked about this at the last meeting, I was under the impression that because the Jackson corridor was categorized as an urban zone, that it meant that AAATA would provide the same services as WAVE, right? So that you would do door-to-door through A-Ride and that they had the same eligibility rules, but it's not like that at all. And so it would really be a reduction in service that wouldn't be matched by AAATA, and that would leave people really stranded.
And I want to point out Woodview Commons, which is big. They have been, from the beginning, very, very supportive of having transit services. They paid for a bus shelter as part of their whole original plan. So we'll be putting that in at some point.
That's listening to you, right?
Yes.
They have been, when Shasta and I have gone over to talk to them about bus alliance meetings or things like that, they've been more than cooperative, letting people that live there know about meetings and offering up that they'd be happy to have meetings in their buildings. The very first bus alliance meeting we had, which had I think 4 or 6 people or something attend, there was a couple that had just moved into Woodview Commons, and they talked about how they were recently retired. They had adult children living in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti area, and this was a more affordable place for them to live since there was a bus service and they could get to where their kids are, and they were down to 1 car, and they were thinking about going down more as they aged. And I kept that in mind, and I feel like every bus alliance meeting we've had since, I've been hearing, this is just a general impression, I keep hearing from people that are talking about, I moved here to Scio Township as I get older, and we know we have an aging population here, because at some point I won't be able to drive, and there's bus service, and I can get around. And I just think we need to think about the future as well as what's the demand is right now.
And we have to be able to pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I love those things. I'm a senior myself, I totally get it. But we have to be able to pay for it.
So a question, do we need to make a recommendation?
Sounds
I
like
mean,
we
it
don't
sounds
need
like
to.
we've already kind of gone through that. We could give them an update and just say, you know, we have no further recommendations for the,
Well,
or,
no.
or,
I think we need to come down firmly and say, we recommend that we continue service as is for the next fiscal year.
just to confirm.
I think like reaffirm or confirm, it could be simple and rather succinct, but I think we should still do something since we have gone through this discussion and this process of, it is part of the role, whether it's comfortable or not, to
Right.
ask questions and to see what opportunities there are, even if it's an opportunity we don't decide to take. It's information, it's good things to know.
I don't know that I agree with that, David, that we need to tell the Board of Trustees what they should do.
Not tell, recommend.
Yeah, well, I don't think we need to recommend to the Board of Trustees
Aren't
about
we
what they
asking our
need to
charge?
do. Well, let's finish my
Oh,
statement.
sorry.
Yeah. That's not our charge to tell them what we think they should do. But if you are thinking of doing that, you are thinking about another report, I think these figures should be included in there. These were the options or the information that the board, that the committee looked at. And these would be I think it's pretty clear what the figures show, so it doesn't take a whole lot of words. Each option comes with a hard choice for our riders and impacts their lives greatly, so.
And I think that should be spelled out underneath the remaining costs or the savings, whatever it is, underneath it says, this service will be disconnected. Parkland Plaza basically is being abandoned as far as mass transit goes.
Public transit.
Public transit goes, and I think we need to name those things because,
Yeah.
we can save $500,000. Oh, let's do that one. Oh, yeah, but,
Well, that's pretty clear. That means Route 30 would be discontinued.
right.
I think the other ones are a little less clear
But,
than just, because like the JRC
right,
and the Parkland Plaza issue.
and hidden in there is the Parkland Plaza issue, exactly. Right. So if we're gonna do that, we need to
I don't have a problem with that.
we need to spell out the consequences. The benefit is saving money. You're only saving, in one, you're only saving $52,000. And what have you done to Parkland Plaza for $52,000? That to me is unconscionable. So that's, as is.
Because, that's where the ridership and the need is.
Right.
It's really clear. It's the same sort of feedback we got on Route 30. There were, a lot of lives that were going to be impacted by that piece. And the same thing, because we don't have, there aren't even complete sidewalks all the way in there. So that's a really important.
My gut is that community, Parkland Plaza community as a whole, has the highest percentage of use of the transit services than the entire township.
I've got some numbers. I've got some numbers for you.
Yeah.
As far as the Jackson Road connector itself goes, the Parkland Plaza neighborhoods and UM West accounts for about 25% of the ridership on that service. So significant there. When we look at the door-to-door service, in the last 12 months in Scio Township, there were over 7,000 rides. Of that, the Parkland rides that either started or ended in Parkland Plaza was a little less than 1,000, so 13% of the ridership.
What about the Scio Farms? That's our larger.
So Scio Farms wasn't impacted at all by the
No,
the
I'm saying,
changes.
I'm talking about in terms of ridership. When you said Parkland Plaza has 25% of riders, I thought that was the existing service.
I am talking about existing
So
service.
what would be Scio Farms' existing service ridership?
Let me do that number really quick. I didn't prep that. I've got them here though. Scio Farms entrance and Willow Tree and Stable.
Just as an aside, the data that we can get from WAVE is amazing. And it's much harder to get data from AAATA and so forth. So it's really the software that you use is
Yeah.
Really helpful.
So Scio
Your tax
Farm,
dollars are paying for that software.
Scio Farms accounts for about 30% of the ridership on the Jackson Road connector. And if you want to keep discussing, I can give you what that looks like for our door-to-door service as well.
I just want to say that it would, so under the plan that we saw on Monday night, what I understood from that was that it would move the Scio Farms.
No, I thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
Because that was partially my fault, and I should have prepped Shasta a little bit more for it. When I made the map, I just was pretty quickly putting something together for the committee, and so I just put in the 3 primary stops. We would not be dropping the Willow Tree Stabler stop. We would not be dropping Menards. What is changing in the schedule is the listed time points. If you look at, and I pulled up the Route 30, they have across their entire route only 5 of their primary stops listed. And so like IHA on Jackson Road is not one of the time points that they have listed. And that was one of the recommendations that came out of our conversation with MDOT and the FTA, is that we needed to narrow our published time stops. The other stops along that
Which are published
staying.
stops are time points.
Right, time
At
points.
this time, the bus will be here, at
Yeah.
this time.
This
There is no
schedule.
time point for
So
Willow Tree,
there's
it will
still,
get
if you look
service.
in the app, there's still like, oh, it's gonna come by here. There's still an expectation that they're coming by. It's just not one of the published time points in
Right.
the schedule.
And I think in fairness to the public though, the fact that the route showed it just went straight down Jackson.
exactly.
Made it
That was-
appear that Willow
was
Tree would no
yeah,
longer be
that
a
was
stop.
on me. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think, so, you know, Marie, you and I have had so many conversations about how to make the wave more accessible and how to boost ridership. And I don't think that the wave can follow AAATA's model, because AAATA has so many ways to find out when the bus is going to be at your stop, which the wave doesn't, right? So
Yes.
when people pull up Google Maps, it tells you exactly when the 30 bus or any other AAATA bus is going to be at that stop. And I would, you know, humbly recommend that the wave, when you're thinking about the published stops, you include the most used stops as the time points, because that's going to help the people who use it know when the bus is going to be there and feel more comfortable relying on the wave bus.
So
That's
the
not
time
possible.
points that you see listed in the amended version were the most used stops along that route. And so we're not doing this to follow AATA, we're doing this because MDOT and FTA was like, hey, this is actually something that you need to change.
Okay.
And so that's the pivot we're doing. But if you're in the app,
So what people
which
have to do is play it a little early. If you know the stop is here, if you know the stop is here minutes away from where you are, you be out there at that time point, not try to close it, you know, when you think how long it's gonna get to your place.
As long as it's clear that it's going to go to your place.
That map is not clear, that will be corrected.
Yeah, it will be corrected in the brochure, and then in the app. Again, we're really recommending that people who use our fixed route get on the app, because it shows you exactly when the bus is going to be coming and all of that, and those stops are still gonna be in the app.
The time stops.
Yeah.
The buses will stop at that stop regardless of if anyone is waiting or not, correct?
No, if there is no one waiting in the shelter or the designated area, the bus is supposed to slow down as it goes by, but it is not required to stop if there is no one waiting.
It just assures that the bus will be at that stop at that time. So if they get there early, they have to stop. If nobody's there, they can't get ahead of their
That's what I
schedule.
meant. If they're 2 or 3 minutes early, or even, I suppose, even right on time,
If they're on time and nobody's there, they get to
well,
roll.
they can continue rolling. But if they're early or on time, and if there's somebody there at And I assume the places where there are signs, ATA bus
Wave
or
bus.
wave bus, the wave will pass by that if there's no one standing there. But if there's someone standing there and they wave, they'll stop. Is that
If
true?
they're running late, you mean? I mean, if they're,
Whether they're early, on time, or late, will they stop at one of those signs?
If it's a designated stop and there's somebody there, wave will stop.
Designated with the timed or just the
Yes,
designated?
if they are
because there's a
somewhere
sign?
else along the route, so we have a couple of stops in Parkland Plaza, right? And if someone is between those stops, I mean, sometimes our drivers are really nice and accommodating, right? And if you're waving at them, there's a good chance that they're slowed down, but we're not required to. People need to call ahead of time if they're not gonna be at one of the stops to make sure we know that they're looking to get on the bus at a different spot, and they're called flag downs in our system.
But the anywhere that has a wave bus sign is effectively a bus stop.
it's just not a time point
Yeah,
So, okay,
necessarily. It
there's
could
a
be
difference.
both, or it could
You
be
only
just a
publish
bus
the
stop.
time point stops,
correct.
not all of the stops.
Yes, the schedule will not have each and every stop that we could be at.
That's what I was trying to understand. And if somebody is standing at one of the signs, as Christie says, whether they flag or not, the bus will stop. Okay, all right.
The other thing that we always talk to our people about is because we have a robust door-to-door service, sometimes the bus driving by is not the fixed route bus. Sometimes it is a door-to-door bus. And so if the bus drives by you, again, I really recommend the app because it shows you the fixed route. And you can see like, oh, that wasn't my bus. Yeah.
How do they know that? By looking at the app?
So when you're in the app, it'll show you the fixed route vehicles. And it'll
Oh, it
show
shows
you
you-
the next few stops, so you can see the times.
Also, there is a way to track
Yes,
where the
yep,
bus is.
yep, yep.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
want
go
to
ahead,
just say that whether or not we technically need to do a resolution to the Board of Trustees, I think at this point, there's so many people expecting to be here, it'd be so confusing and not definitive, you know, if we don't do something at this point. Plus, I'm just looking at our charge, and under reporting, it says the Multimodal Transportation Committee will report its findings and recommendations to the Board of Trustees on a quarterly basis. It's been 3 months.
Well,
So,
when did we report to them last?
End of April, it was,
Okay.
end of April was our meeting, early May was their meeting.
so it's time
Okay.
for a report anyway, right?
I wonder if we could draft what we're going to say and then have that set. So like, one thing we could say is the Multimodal Transit Committee over the past 3 months, although really it's like two meetings and the public outreach meeting, explored additional opportunities.
We have been meeting since January.
Sorry, I think, Kim, you're misunderstanding me.
Okay,
What
what are
I'm
you
saying
saying?
is this specific plan of wave reduction was only introduced at the last meeting where Marie came and said, the last official committee meeting where Marie came and said, okay, here's this plan for reducing service in order to save $52,800, right? And we have explored that, we have solicited, or we have, we've solicited public outreach, and we think that this change would be too hasty. It conflicts with the other things that we are doing as a committee, which is trying to find additional source of funding, and we recommend that service be maintained as is for the next fiscal year.
I would not be agreeable to that. I would be agreeable to putting in that we have been meeting since January 8th until present, and that we have recently, there have been ongoing public outreach by your Bus Alliance group, and that have been explaining what we've been considering during our meetings. There have been an additional public outreach recently. I'm willing to say that, because that's really, I believe, a more clear way of looking at what's going on. And then I think we should add in what these options we've been considering, but I agree at the end, I don't think we need to mention the millage again, because that's already something that they've already addressed. But then we somehow use the language from this little notes that I gave you guys, put that in there, and that the committee has decided and is recommending that we keep the service as is while we look through all the options and longer, and options, not only that, but options considered for increasing our revenue base for transportation.
Kim, do you think it's necessary to put in that in our motion, or excuse me, our
Recommendation.
recommendation, the fact that any wave service that is eliminated is not recoverable?
I think that would be fine to explain that, yeah, that one of the problems that we've been facing is that if we get rid of the urban area fixed routes, or even urban area, correct me if I'm wrong.
Wave service to the urban zone.
Door to door, so any wave service.
Any
to the
reduction
urban.
to the urban zone, we cannot expand to.
I think we should explain that a bit to the, yeah,
That's
I agree.
absolutely correct.
And this is a report, not a recommendation. We've already given a recommendation. They're already extending the contract. They're already looking, they've already agreed to look at increasing the millage. They've already agreed to look at waiting for the analysis from ATA, which I don't expect a whole lot to come out of that, but in time for us to plan. But I think the reason for adding these dollars and these different scenarios kind of gives some more information to the board. And then along with that, maybe a couple of us should go to this Board of Trustees meeting to try to help the trustees be able to answer. Because I think one of our, maybe even a couple of our residents mentioned, these folks are not mentioning how long their Board of Trustees agendas are. This is just going to be one little piece of what they have to deal with, and how are they going to be able to address all these intricacies. So I'm willing to go. If somebody else, I think it should be more
I'll
than
go.
me.
I think I'll be
And the
there.
board may not want that. The board may say, hey, look, we've got such a jam-packed agenda. I'm fine with that too.
We
I
can
think
put it on
it's
the consent
Be
agenda.
available.
just being very clear. I was thinking of this as a follow-up to the recommendation we made in May to say, hey, we continued meeting this summer. The executive director of WAVE kindly put together different cost-saving scenarios. We decided not to recommend amending the WAVE contract for next fiscal year because it conflicts with the other things that we're doing, trying to increase the revenue.
Well, it creates a big hardship for our ridership. I think we should be clear about that. Created a big hardship for our ridership.
Conflicts with the other things we're doing as a committee to improve and maintain public transit in Scio Township. And under...
Well, I don't know if it does that, but okay.
Well, we can talk about that. But under MDOT rules, if we reduced service in this urban zone, we would not be able to expand it again. So
That's correct. I think that's important.
I think
for
that's
sure.
really important.
That's
to
most
highlight.
important, yeah.
And WAVE cannot fill the vacuum. Excuse me.
Now, I just learned...
ATA cannot fill WAVE's vacuum.
This is kind of an aside, but in speaking with Marie yesterday, I kind of learned that we may be not, the Jackson Road connector may not live for very long, that there may be some forces at the state and federal level.
I would say it may not be able to live forever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
May not be able to live forever. So, because of this whole urbanized framework that, and so when we think of it as grandfathered, I'm not so sure that's the language that we want to use with the public, because that means that it's there forever unless we change it. And I don't think that's true.
So under current,
But I'm not saying, that doesn't have to go in the report,
Sure.
but
but
I just
under,
wanted to let the members know that.
And it's not, it may not be a
Current
permanent, although, yeah.
oh, somebody has a raised hand?
Yeah, some Samsung number?
Okay.
I mean,
We
If
have
you're
public
on
comment after we're
Zoom,
done.
We're going to have
Yeah.
public comment shortly.
so I've taken a stab at writing a shorter version of the recommendation to kind of encompass the conversation. So the way I've started it, and I'm open to editing this,
Ryan, could I ask you a favor just for accessibility? I will have a really hard time following just out
Yeah,
loud,
can
but
you
if
print
you
that
shared
out?
a Google
I
Doc.
can print it out.
Are you putting these numbers in? Not
I
yet.
can, I haven't typed that far.
Okay.
I do think if we're going to put the numbers in, it would be great to have the exact source of the numbers and like linking to the documents
Okay.
that they're coming from.
While you're typing that up, are you doing the 2 reasons that you had before in the original resolution or not?
I'm thinking of how much I want to put in here.
Right.
So I'm also going to bring this up as a housekeeping issue. Technically, we're going to lose this room in about 25 minutes.
Okay.
So-
The reason I asked was there was one, if we start putting reasons down, I was looking back again at our charge, and I'm seeing collaborate with regional partners, including WAVE, AAATA, SUMCOG, and Washtenaw County, to align local priorities with regional transportation planning. Support integration of multimodal transportation options with the township master plan, capital improvement plan, and promote environmentally sustainable transportation practices that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality. So I came up, along with your original draft, a 3rd reason. Transit service reduction should be avoided in order to align with Scio's existing master plan, the Jackson Road Corridor Study recommendations, and the Environmental Sustainability and Climate Action Plan. Continuation of service at current levels also keeps Scio's practices in alignment with county, regional, and state goals. I don't know if you want to go into that, but it's,
I think that's
Solidifies
boxing
it.
the Board of Trustees in.
You
And
think-
I think all that sounds really great, Kathy.
Mhm.
I mean, I can get on board with that. I'm on the planning commission, I totally get it.
Then get on board, Kim.
And I'm on the
We want
Jackson
you on board.
But I don't want to, what I want to be careful of is, there are some things outside of the Board of Trustees that they can't control, like how does the vote come out at a new millage increase?
Sure.
How can we get people out of their cars? How do we get people out of their cars that live in the rural areas? Hold on, where there is no transportation, because we are very concerned about emissions. So I want to be careful about words, or your paragraph, your words, and I understand them and I agree with them, but I want to be careful about that being, because I think other factors that are outside the Board of Trustees' control will affect that. And it sounds like we're one more person, just like the regional planning, the planning commission, the master plan and all that. Just like all of them, we're just one more player saying, this is what we got to do, despite the fact that we can't control some of these things. So,
But if we don't have similar goals and speed,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I want to,
Yeah.
just thinking, I feel like in government and anything that I've ever been involved with, people tend to get laser focused on the very specific issue at hand, and obviously serving citizens here is what's most important, and the budget is important as well, but we're losing sight of the bigger picture and the vision for the township as well. And I wanted to just pull that in.
That it isn't just, yes, that there's a regional component to it. And ultimately, as we found out, a state component to it.
Yeah.
and the state pays 80% of it.
Right.
And you can damn near count that they're not going to be paying more than that. If anything, it could be going down. But these are the forces that I'm talking about. But anyway, I would not be in favor of that for those reasons, not because I don't believe in the words that you just said. But I understand what you're saying.
You're concerned, if am I correct in assuming you're concerned with the political impact of that statement?
Yeah, and we're not a political group. We're here to try to deal with transit in a fair way for our citizens and dealing with all the implications of that. And that's why we're struggling, that's why we're going back and forth, and we're doing this and we're doing that, because everybody cares about this.
Here's my head
It's a
start.
committee.
Let's see where we can get.
Just like you said, we're not a political group, so we need to look at what is right, not what is.
What is right? You think that's not a political question? Okay, well, try to look at what, yeah, bring it on. I say bring the transportation on. You would just go look at what's right.
Oh, no, I do have one. I forgot I have my back.
Yeah. So this is my start.
Well, how about, if I may, what's best for our
How
citizens?
about the,
How about what's best for our citizens, not necessarily what's right, what's best for our citizens?
so let me just say this, we keep talking about a recommendation. This is a report.
Well,
Okay.
so our
Okay.
agenda says possible action,
I know, but we're-
recommendation to the Board of Trustees. I think that's what's on the agenda
I understand that.
for the Board of Trustees.
And we've been using
meeting.
that word, but it sounds like we're at a point now where we're at the board report. And doesn't mean we can't make a recommendation. I'm just saying, I think the title should be the Multimodal Transportation Committee Report.
Okay.
And then you can use the word recommendation if there's some more recommendations that you have.
I just wanted to be
Quarterly report.
consistent with what's going to be on the board meeting agenda. And I don't have access to that, but I think a lot about this as somebody who got involved on the committee after making a public comment. I think about making things clear for the residents of Scio Township. And so for the people who came to the meeting on Monday and they heard, we are making a recommendation to the board about how to proceed with the contract for next fiscal year. And then it's on the agenda for this meeting, which is also a public meeting. There are people here, there are people on Zoom. So I think, we can kind of
So
think
I
about how
don't
to
problem
not
with the
make things.
recommendation, I just think that it should be titled Multimodal Transportation Committee Quarterly Report. That's what it is, that lines up with our charge. Now, we're gonna have an intro, we're gonna say we've been meeting since January 8th, and we've had outreach, the kind of outreach I mentioned earlier, and public outreach. And then we can talk about, we don't need to go over extending the POSA again. They've adopted that recommendation in our prior recommendation. So maybe we need to add, what have we been doing since then? We've been considering these different scenarios. And a couple of members said they want a little more context to those areas. I'm fine with that. And that there's a statement in there that there's a lot of disruption in the lives of our residents and our riders, and that, and then when we get to and how the public comment was that everybody wanted things to remain as is, or some language like that. And then if we have a new recommendation as it relates to, I hear people saying they want us to recommend, the committee, to recommend that there be no changes in the wave service or any of the service to be left as is during this extended POSA period.
You know that right?
Yeah.
And then
I can't do like
Kathy-
abstract large
Kathy
thing
has-
without like actually editing a document.
I'm just saying, I just think that we should be a little bit, and I appreciate Kathy bringing up the charge, because I did this during the transit committee on the millage, and we never really consulted with our charge. And when we came back with recommendations, the Board of Trustees said, well, did you do this, did you do that? And all that was in our charge. So I appreciate, because I've been looking at the charge, I appreciate Kathy bringing that up. And we should all be looking at that. So anyway, I don't want to take up a lot more time.
I feel that if we don't do what was on the agenda and actually make a recommendation for action, that we're going to have a confused and angry public out there.
But people are already confused and angry.
Right, so we're trying to address that.
I know. So how is that, what I just said, not addressing that? if we end up with a recommendation in our report? How
Sure.
is that not addressing that?
Sure, I think that one
Because
thing.
because the report is there to educate the BOT. You and I have been dealing with this for months. So when you talk about a stop versus a time point, you guys have just realized what that is. So let alone putting all this stuff and
No,
having
we're not
all these
asking
people
for
come to the board and complain. They have no idea about the intricacies of transit.
Right. I
So
think
that's,
part of our job is to make things clear. But I think also the Board of Trustees might be confused because this is kind of coming out of left field. What I would like for this report or recommendation to do is to say, hey, this is what you voted on in May. Since then, there was a suggestion made to the committee, or the committee explored these alternatives, which would have reduced costs by making the wave service less expensive, but we decided that those costs were too great to bear, right? So just to say, do not reduce wave service for next fiscal year. We looked at those scenarios, we got feedback from the public. We don't think that this is an avenue that you should pursue.
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
yeah.
I'm just saying the title should be the quarterly report, whatever the intro is, or the contextualness of the document, and then, of course, we'll have a recommendation at the
Okay,
end.
great. And then it's great that we're all on board with the same recommendation.
So moved.
Well, I need to see a document before I vote on anything.
Yeah.
So I don't, not expecting that to happen.
So we've got about 10 minutes
I mean,
left.
this unfortunately is one of, and I love spending time on this, I think it's very important. I'm also implementing 5 projects at the same time, so I'm running around with my.
Okay, I'll take a stab, we're beyond our meeting time. I'll take a stab at writing it
Okay.
and sending it out to everybody on our committee.
Uh-huh.
And if maybe we can vote by email so that this gets on.
We cannot vote by email, I will
we
say,
can't vote
I will
by
say that.
No.
So we have a couple of options. Because we're an advisory body, we certainly can circulate things by email. We cannot reply all and deliberate per
Okay.
se by email. The other option that we have is we could meet, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be like, we could meet again. Legally, on my understanding of the statute, we only have to have a meeting posted, I realize this is fucking bad as I'm saying it, 18 hours in advance. So we could meet again tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday. I made the Board of Trustees agenda item without a attachment, like a recommendation attachment. I made it as a
Just an
overview and background, so it could be brought to the table on Tuesday night. So I
I can
suppose-
meet on tomorrow.
Yeah, I could meet tomorrow, like early in the morning, like 9 or 10 o'clock if we want to, but you can't, I don't know.
How about Monday,
What is it?
24th? No.
Monday or
Can't meet in the
Tuesday?
morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you meet in the afternoon?
After 3 or later.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
I can't, so we would meet from 3 to 4?
I think if we were really dedicated to trying, I mean, I
I would
can.
just do a reply to you and say, I agree. That's not deliberating.
Not deliberating.
I'm just trying to save some time here.
I know, and I realize it's difficult, I really do. I'm also trying like, I don't know.
Okay, well,
Or we could appoint two or three people out of the group to write the recommendation, and that would
be consistent with our discussion and the
be
meeting.
consistent with our discussion, and that group could write the recommendation and bring it to the board.
So I think it's, the truth be told, that it's easier to work on a draft. So like if I put something together, people say, no, I don't like this, I like this word, instead of, and then coming to the meeting. So like I would need some of your language, if you could email me that.
I'm wondering if
I wonder if the two of
Kathy
you
and
could work
Kim
together.
and Ryan would be.
Maybe,
No,
yeah.
not Ryan,
Well,
admittedly, the
Kathy
next
and
3
Kim
days is
possibly Christie.
difficult.
and Christie?
Yeah.
Kathy, Kim, and Christie?
And you do not have to meet in this room. You could communicate through email. You could meet through
5,
Zoom or
6, 7.
Teams.
So 3 would be okay.
You
It's
could
not-
meet through Zoom or Teams. You could meet somehow, some way.
Oh, we
You could
could
just
meet through
communicate through
Zoom?
email or
I
phone.
don't do Teams.
You
Okay.
don't have to. I'm just.
You could be in Panera
Those are
Bread.
options, so,
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something together
Okay.
based on what a couple of us have talked about, and I'm gonna send it to the whole group.
Yep.
And then we could kind of go from there, adding some of what you've talked about, and then we can kind of, maybe we can meet by Zoom.
okay, so we need a motion, right?
I move that we coordinate or chair or start a subcommittee comprised of Christie, Kathy, and Kim.
I don't know, I mean, I want to be very involved in this. I have a child with a broken arm and lots of
Uh-oh.
follow-up medical appointments, and I am really in a crunch period for work. And I don't have childcare because my kid can't go to daycare with a broken arm. So this is a really, really difficult time for me. But I did write what I think should be included.
Okay, so then we can do Kathy and Kim.
Kathy and Kim.
All right.
You don't want to join us?
Is there support?
He's on the board.
I'll support that.
I agree
Okay.
with both of you.
Okay,
So whatever you guys come together.
Yable, okay,
And,
all right, so we have Reed and Yable.
you know,
We have who?
As
moving and support.
moving in support, that you and Kathy make the
To
subcommittee.
create a subcommittee to form a recommendation,
A report. and
a
recommendation.
report and
With
recommendation
recommendation.
for the Board of Trustees meeting.
I just want the minutes to reflect that the recommendation will be to keep the service as is, to keep wave service as is.
Is there consensus on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, all public transit services as is.
Yes.
Right.
To keep all public transit.
Let me try and merge this together. To create a subcommittee, motion to create a subcommittee to form a report and recommendation for the Board of Trustees meeting on August 25th.
Yep.
To
Transit
maintain
services as is.
WAVE and AAATA services as is for the POSA for the service period of 10/1/2026 to 9/30/2027, 2027, and appoint Kathy Jaskowitz and Kim Moore to the subcommittee. Friendly to you?
Friendly.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry if that's a lot, I just want to make sure it
Yep,
encompasses
it
everybody's.
encompasses everything. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
We forgot public comment.
Well,
No,
we
no, we
just
still,
finished
that,
our
we
new
didn't
business.
adjourn
We
yet.
still have it.
Okay, so, public, we'll open
First
public comment.
here in person.
Anyone, yes,
Fast. I don't know why we gotta be out, I didn't hear, but.
there's another meeting.
Renee Klubeck again, I can talk loud. Keep it simple. Number one, as just a general courtesy to the general public who doesn't know everybody in future, and I'm gonna recommend it at the board, the next meeting. This lovely person, I had no clue who you were until I was whispering by ear back to Kathy and whatnot. So if we could have a consistency at committees to inform the general public who's attending that is not a committee member but is sitting with the group, that would be awesome. Second thing, moving forward, I haven't heard anything in the last 2 days, and I went blank last night and forgot to say, in future discussion, could someone maybe bring up or inform how all of these things are going to affect with the new introduction of the building of Helping Hands Access, which is on Baker? Everybody?
Oh, many hands?
Many hands, excuse me, many hands. Just curiosity, a couple people asked me that. I've been on 3 committees. I've been told by legal that committees are charged to inform and recommend. If that's incorrect, I need to have that told to me by Fink, one of the Fink representatives, which from knowing about the May 12th meeting, this committee is confirming to reaffirm what was done May 12th. That might be helpful, because then people in the public can go back and look at that what was done on May 12th. The last thing is, could Kim's wonderful handout be included in the minutes to give the general public an idea of these numbers? That was great what I was hearing, but I'd love to see it.
Can you upload that?
That would be wonderful. And the last thing is there a published, and this is perhaps to Brian, is there a published budget for this committee that the public can get their hands on at all?
Is there a
Where I
what?
would look, published, this is more of a board question, actually, treasurer question, the budget that is from what we have here at the township to break out to different areas of needs. Is there a specific budget for what this committee is working with? If so,
That's beyond our scope.
I'm not asking.
We've never been given a budget.
Okay, that was one answer. My second question is to a board member who is also the treasurer, BOT member and treasurer. Is there a budget that could be accessible for the public to look at? Namely, I'd love to see it. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
I know it sounds like semantics, but I feel like this committee has been charged to the Board of Trustees to make a recommendation. And so a recommendation is different than a report. And I do hear what you're saying, I really do.
The recommendation will
Excuse
be in the
me,
report.
I'm sorry. But I just feel that that's what the purpose of this whole committee has been meeting for, is to make a recommendation. Thank you so much.
Well, I disagree with that. Sometimes we don't have a recommendation,
Thank you.
but we still have to report according to our charge, so.
It's okay.
I hear you. I think the recommendation, I think you'll be pleased with
We
it.
can agree to disagree.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
All right.
Is there someone online that would like to?
Yep, Samsung SM something, you can go ahead and unmute it, if you'd like. Go ahead, whenever you're ready, you just gotta hit it.
Is there anybody else who maybe while they figure out?
Samsung SM something at 5166B. If you wanna unmute, give me one more chance, otherwise we'll come back in just a second. Marshall, I'll let you go ahead, I just, allow you there to be able to go ahead and unmute, all right? Thanks, Marshall.
Could I speak now?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, I was at the meeting Monday night, and I've been trying to follow along with all this, and I know there's a lot to consider, and it's kind of rushed, but I think the most important thing that you convey to the board next Tuesday is the importance of these transit services, and I know that many of us are fortunate in not needing them, but the language that the woman spoke earlier of the bus driver saying these services are a lifeline, as well as many people saying they moved to Scio because of these services, is a lot clearer description than saying they're important, it would be a disruption, we have budget to consider, blah, 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 blah. So please emphasize the importance of helping our residents, providing services they need, and I think the recommendation can't be strongly enough worded. So thank you for all your hard work on this.
Thanks, Martin. Samsung, if you want to go ahead and unmute. I'll ask you to mute one more time there. You go ahead. All right, I don't know if that person may have walked away from their device, so.
All right, and
Seeing no one else.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to close public
One thing.
comment. Yes.
Renee, are you asking about what the actual budget for transit services is?
Yes.
And I think, Brian, isn't it just the amount that the millage generates? Like roughly $600,000?
I just pulled the tax roll while we were in this meeting, $714,000 for this year.
That's not for us to spend, that's what we have to spend on transit.
Yeah, because it's millage funded.
So,
I'll follow with a question afterwards. Thank
all
you.
right.
So it changes.
I move to adjourn.
I'm sorry,
No.
can I say one more thing? Or this is a question. Lee Benton sent me commentary that he made a couple days ago. And I haven't, he sent it to me and he's written it to me, and I'm not sure he told me he was gonna make commentary today, and I don't see him on here. I'm trying to ask him, but he did send me what I thought he was going to say. Did you want me to read it, or is it not
Is
appropriate?
it the same thing he gave us on Monday night?
Oh, maybe so.
He
Yeah.
spoke and he
He
gave
spoke
us
and
He
specific.
spoke and he gave us.
Okay,
and he
thanks
gave us
so
some-
much.
I
I
don't
just
know
wanted
if
to
it's
make-
the same thing.
Yeah, I think it probably is. Yeah, all
It
right.
starts with, my name is Lee Benton, I'm in a power wheelchair. I think so, because he also,
There was something more recent than Monday night.
he sent it to the MTC email address, so it'll be in the correspondence.
It says, my name is Lee, yes.
Yep.
I mean,
So we
okay.
have that.
I just want to make sure you got the
Okay.
chance. if you
Anything
need it.
else? Then I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Okay, Yeaple and
Second.
Moore.
I had a question before we adjourned completely, but
Well,
yeah, I
let's
motion
finish
to
it. Okay,
close
so
public comment, yes.
any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Then, yeah, you had a comment before?
Yes, so Ryan, before we adjourn, I know before you had taken it upon yourself to write back to the emails from the
I've
public.
been trying to keep up. Unfortunately, the last several days, I've gotten back to some and I stopped going to work responding.
When you respond, could you CC the committee?
Sure.
Okay, just because I want to know, like, if
Yeah.
we've gotten back to people or not.
Okay.
Okay, or is that something you can do? Ryan?
Yeah.
Is that something you feel like you can keep up on? I mean, that's, a lot of extra work.
I can give you some details.
Okay.
But we gotta start this other meeting, so.
Okay, yep. So a motion to
Move to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Moore, support by Reed. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned at 10:28. Thank you.
David, I just wanted to let you know, the Scio Farms number, so out of the 7,000